Huge and enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha advent for all sentient beings. Sanye Jola Zoge Chonam Lai Chanju Pardo Tani Gyapso Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Chola Penjire Sanye Drupare Sho Sanye Jola Soge Chonam Lai Chanju Pardo Tani Gyapso Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Chola Benjire Sanye Drupare Sho Sanye Jola Soge Pado Dani Gyapso Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Chola Benjire Sanye Drupare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Dathagato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Sham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Dathagato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, seems like you have a good discussion. Yes? Okay. What's the first group? Group A? Yes. Good discussion? Group B?
No, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Group 2?
Yeah. 2.
Group 2, good discussion? Group 3? Good discussion? Group 4? Group 4? Who was the group leader? Cheso host group discussion? Good. Group 5? Okay, who's the group leader? Good discussion? Okay. Seems like no question. So they're scared of the group leaders. Okay, what was the decision? Non-conscious space. Or the, what is that? Permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Okay, any questions? No question.
I have a question. There's a person A and here is a person B. And the space between is permanent. But when somebody moves through, it's permanent anymore. The space has changed.
This is a good question. Okay, first, somebody give me an example of a permanent space. What is that? Permanent phenomena, ultimate reality. First, give me an example of that, and then we'll discuss your name. Doris. So we'll discuss with the question from Doris. Okay, what is a permanent phenomena, ultimate reality? Anyone? Your seniors, your superiors, what did they say? You're superior yourself. Okay. Okay, anybody, those who are beginners or who come here for the first time?
Like he mentioned before, like absence of chocolate.
Yes.
Flower, that's the
Permanent phenomena. Okay. So, look, the Laksh is saying that our boss said that absence of chocolate over the flower. Anyone else? What else? Guru 1? What was the answer? Guru 1? Okay. So which means that I'm asking that the newcomers, who have no idea about these concepts, I'm asking you, because that the seniors, they have some answers. Okay, group 2? Group 2? Yes, what was the answer given?
So absence of negation of anything is permanent, and permanent is not usually eternal. That we usually think in our minds that permanent.
Who is your group leader? Okay, Joshua and Chanjula, very good. Good answer, thank you. Group 3? Group 3? Group 3? Chris? Group 3?
Yeah, we didn't talk specifically about what it meant, but I would think of like ideas, maybe being.
Or the ideas as a permanent phenomenon as an ultimate reality. Okay, we discussed on this. This is a good point. Anyone else? Group 4? Group 4? Who are there? Okay, no questions. Group 4, yes.
Just we said that the color, red color in general is permanent.
Red color in general. Okay. Who's your leader? Chelsea. Red color. Okay, red color in general. Very good. Okay, next. Group 5. Group 5?
You were still discussing impermanent phenomena.
Discuss on?
On impermanent phenomena.
Not permanent.
To permanent phenomena. You were still discussing impermanent. You didn't have time.
I see. Okay. Okay, good. So this is quite a serious matter. What is a permanent phenomena? And I'm quite impressed with what Abhinasha, what she said, which is quite good. That any absence is a permanent phenomena. Number one, any absence is a permanent phenomena, and then you have to ask how. How absence of the chocolate, myself being absent of the chocolate is permanent. How is it permanent? This is what we have to check. So we have more days. Keep asking these questions and think of these yourself as well. And absence. And then also what another important statement made is that permanent may not be something lasting forever. May not be eternal. It can be as brief as a sound of a clam. Can be very brief, but permanent. So, okay, this is the important point, and we will discuss in the next session on the 4 seals. We're going to do a teaching on the 4 seals, and during that time, you have to bring up any question that you might have with respect to permanent, impermanent, the permanent to be, can be eternal, non-eternal. All this we have to discuss in the next class. But this is a good start, very good. And then next the question is about Doris. Doris, your name? What Doris said is again a very important point made. But I will discuss this when all of us get some idea of what is permanent, what is impermanent. Only then we'll discuss this topic. This is a very important topic that Doris made. The question is, okay, just keep in mind, and this is what we're going to discuss in the next the chapter. What Doris said is that, say, the space between you and I, and this space, if it is permanent, then when somebody cuts between two of us, that space is disrupted. So it changed. So how can that be permanent? This is a good question. I'm not going to do it now because that we have to sail together. We have to sail together. So this is just the intro, and I'm just checking how many of you they got something. So how many are prepared to get there? So the actual discussion will happen in the next chapter or the next topic, the four seals. Okay. So, and Doris, your job is to remind me in the next time when we are doing the all composite things are impermanent. When we study that, you have to remind me. Okay, good. So with this, where did we leave this morning? Where did we leave this morning? Sadhavisha, where did we leave this morning? Third set of the teaching on the Four Noble Truths pertaining to the result of the practice of the Four Noble Truths. Very good. Thank you. Okay. So there, what did the Buddha teach? In this set, what did the Buddha teach? Anyone?
Although there is truth, there to be identified, there is nothing to be identified.
Although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. Likewise, all the truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, there's nothing to be abandoned, and so forth. Okay, now what I said is where we left is that this teaching, although it looks little oxymoron, contradictory within itself, although truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. These two looks quite contradictory. So, to explain this, we need to understand the same teaching on two different levels, conventional level and the ultimate level. In the conventional sense, just imagine that we recite the Heart Sutra mantra, which reads Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. The five are there. This one is not just randomly five. There's a reason there, and we have to study this again. So, whatever I said, we have to study later. We have to study later. Somebody, if there's somebody who can keep track of these, to make sure that we cover these points. Sometimes I may not cover them. To make sure that I cover these, you have to remind me. So when I say these have to be studied later. Of these five, Gate, Gate, Para, Samgate, Bodhisattva, these are the five stages. These are the five stages through which you go to awaken your hidden treasure. So for this, they say the first four, they are known as the learning stages. Learning stages where you keep learning, keep improving. And the fifth one, you already reached the ultimate, so no more learning. Fifth one is known as no more learning. The first four are known as learning stages. The learning stages, and the fifth one is known as no more learning. So now it's pretty easy. What is the first one? Although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. Meaning, although the truth of suffering, in the first four levels, learning stages, the truth of suffering is to be identified. When you reach the fifth one, you have already identified everything. There's nothing left to be identified. You got it? Although during the first four stages, you have to identify the truth of suffering, but when you reach the fifth stage, you have identified everything, there's nothing to be identified. Although the truth of suffering is to be identified during the first four stages, but there's nothing to be identified when you reach the fifth one. At the fifth one, you have reached the ultimate result. When you reach the result, there's nothing left to be identified. You have accomplished your goal. Likewise, truth of the cause of suffering, although truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, there's nothing to be abandoned. Meaning that during the first four stages, first four paths, the truth of suffering is to the cause of suffering is to be abandoned. But when you reach the fifth, you already abandoned everything. There's nothing left to be abandoned. Okay, is there anybody who likes to apply this to the third one? Anyone who likes to apply this to the third one? Joshua?
Although the truth of the cessation of suffering is to be actualized, there's nothing to be actualized.
Meaning? How to apply, how to understand this?
So the first four stages would correspond to the first part of the statement, although the truth of suffering is to be actualized.
During the first four stages,
And the final stage, the no more learning stage, would be there's nothing to be actualized.
you've already actualized everything, there's nothing left to be actualized. Very good. And the last one, fourth one, anyone? Fourth one? Fourth one? Maya, you want to try?
There's nothing left to meditate on?
Yes, say it again.
There's nothing left to meditate on?
When?
In the no-learning stage, the fifth.
When you reach the fifth part. Very good. During the first four parts, although the cessation, although the path leading to cessation is to be practiced or meditated upon, but when you reach the fifth one, you have meditated everything. Now there's nothing left to be meditated upon. That is how we understand the third set in the conventional sense. Done. Next is in the ultimate sense, in the ultimate truth. Okay, this is going to be a little technical. I'm going to just give you some idea, and don't worry too much. Even if you think you don't get you don't get full, don't worry. The fourth one is on the ultimate level is that okay. Okay, let's say that how many you are 39 and below, resonance? 39 and below. 39 and below. 39 or below. And how many? Okay, now that it's the second part, I'll not make you raise your hand. Including myself. You know why? In the first case, people who raise your hands, you're very happy. Gabor, Chelsea, very happy. We belong to the younger group. Right? Okay. So what is this which makes us which makes us feel I'm young, I'm old. This is age. You agree? You agree? And people say age is just a number. But this is just to console the other person. Yeah, to be very honest, this is just to console the other person. We should be factual. We should be factual. It's not just a number. It's not just a number. One time, my friend, after the teaching, we were taken to a place where to have he said that actually I'm not an ice cream person, but then he thought that I would love it, so I just to make him happy I also went, and then he took us to a ice cream spot, and 3 or 4 of us are there. No, 4 or 5 of us are there. We're all in our 50s, if not 40s. In their 50s. And all others are in their 20s. And they're looking at, staring at us like this. Who are these old people coming in this place? You're getting it? So this will tell you age is number or not. Right. Okay. So, but now look, this is the key. We're talking about the ultimate. Same, superficially, there's an age difference. And you cannot deny this. There's a reality. There's a reality. Superficially, there's an age difference. But this is a reality. We cannot deny this reality. But this age is related to your body, not with your mind. You agree? Resonance. Let us be very realistic. Okay, don't be emotional. Right? Age is about your body. And your body is nothing but made of cells. You agree? Your body is nothing made of cells. You agree? Your body is made of tissues. Your body is made of organs, made of tissues, made of the chromosomes, made of cells, chromosomes, and DNA molecules, and the atoms. Your body, in essence, our body is made of atoms. You agree? Resonance. Our body is made of atoms. So when you speak of age, finally it is about the age of the atoms. On the atomic level, all the atoms are same age, believe it or not. You agree? Or raise your hands, those who are not too sure. Raise hands. All the atoms are same age, not too sure. Raise hands. Not to, just raise your hands. Or who are very sure, raise hands. All the atoms are same age. Oh, very sure. Okay. Because on what basis? All the atoms, there's no destruction of the atoms. At the most, the atoms, matter and energy, interchangeable. Besides this, there's no destruction of the atoms, there's no destruction of the matter or energy, there's no creation of the matter and energy. This is the physical law of physics. Yes.
But if atoms can be destroyed, then how is nuclear fission possible?
So, yes, that's true. When I say atoms, you can go deeper. Electrons, protons, neutrons. You can go deeper. I just stopped there for a purpose. So, electrons, protons, neutrons, and then can convert it into energy, energy into mass, mass into energy, but there's no destruction there. There's no loss of energy, there's no loss of matter. You getting it? So, this matter that we have, atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons, energy, they came from minimum 15 billion years ago. Minimum, all the atoms that we have, in whatever form, energy form, atoms form, electrons form, whatever, minimum is 15 billion years. Minimum 15 billion years, minimum. If that is the beginning of the universe. And the physicists, they differ in their views. Some say this is not a beginning within the stipulated time. Within given time, this is the beginning. So, otherwise, say, for example, my beginning is the time I was born. That's my beginning of this life. But before that, there's something else. My body, before that is something, maybe apples, or soil, from which then apples grow. My mother ate, and then it becomes into fetus, and then grows into dorji. So this is a recycling. We all recycle objects. You agree? Okay. So in short, what I'm saying is that the age that we so obviously see on the atomic level, the age difference dissolves. The concept of age difference dissolves. You agree? Okay, now those people with my age, they're very happy. Right? Okay. And the age difference dissolves. So, where is that age? Where is that age difference? It is on the superficial level, on the conventional level. On the ultimate level, age difference doesn't make sense. You agree? Okay. So therefore, on the ultimate level, age just doesn't make sense. On the ultimate level, even the gender doesn't make any sense. You agree? Gender is nothing but, gender is body, nothing to do with the mind. And some people might have, with the male body, the feeling like a female body, feeling like a male. Yeah, that is the different story. Otherwise, generally speaking, we see that gender is the bodily constituencies. But what we see is gender. This is what creates all the conflicts in the world. Why it's happening? Because of the gender difference. All these what do you call it? Breakup. What is breakup? Oh, you know what it is. It's all about the gender. Generally, it's about the gender. So, what is gender? Gender is nothing again the body. Body is again nothing the atoms. On the atomic level, there's no atom. Just pick up any atom to say this is a male atom, this is a female atom. There's nothing. You agree? You agree? There's no, yes. Agree? So, where is the gender? Where is the age on that level? And you think of this, if it gives you a feeling of uneasiness, a little bit of disturbance in your mind, uneasiness, Unease is not because that somebody provokes you, because reality is something very different from how I believe. If uneasiness comes, you are very, very fortunate. You are very fortunate. This will say in the dream. Do you agree with me? When you're dreaming, all these things are cheesecake, boy, girl, good boy, good, bad boy, good girl, bad boy. All these diversities happen in the dream. When you wake up, what happens to this diversity? All this diversity dissolves. You agree? When you wake up. So likewise, when you see the ultimate reality, it is like waking up. So awakening. So when you wake up from sleep of ignorance, all this diversity dissolve. And all the problems created by the perception of the diversity. Oh, this is nice, I want it, I'm not getting it. This is not nice, I want to run away from, and you cannot run away. All these problems happen because of seeing the diversity. And this diversity makes sense only on the conventional level. Go deeper, this diversity makes no sense. For example, how many of you have actually seen the painting of Mona Lisa? Raise hands. Who have actually seen the real painting of Mona Lisa in France? Raise hands. Okay, how many of you have not seen that, but seen it on the pictures? Raise hand. Pictures or real, whatever. You've seen that at least, what Mona Lisa painting is. Okay, just imagine that Mona Lisa painting, if you look deeper on the atomic level, Mona Lisa painting doesn't make any sense. Raise hands. You agree? Mona Lisa painting doesn't make any sense when you go on the atomic level. So where is the Mona Lisa painting? It's just the appearance coming. Go deeper, ultimately, there's nothing really there. So this is the reality. Ultimately, nothing is there. But don't say nothing is there. Everything exists. Everything exists on the conventional level. Don't forget it. Everything exists on the pure conventional level. And when you say that, if you, for the first time, if you're hearing this, and because of this, you feel mentally some form of disturbance, uneasiness. Uneasiness, not because that, okay, he's saying something very strange. Because to discover that the reality is different from how I think. Because of this discovery, you see that reality is very different from how I think, and then uneasiness comes, you are very, very, very fortunate. Waking up and sleep, in being in dream and waking up, is very different or same? Very different. You're getting it? Very different. Waking up is very different. What comes? You are sleeping in a small room, and you dream. So like you are flying in the air. How many of you dreamt of flying in the air? Particularly when you were a little boy, little girl, flying in the air. How many never flew in the air in your dream? Amitabh, no, never. Okay, yes. Okay. Chelsea? Yes. Diana? Yes. Flew. From where? Portugal to? From the building to? Your workplace? No, not. Okay, to Spain. Okay. So, and then you wake up, you cannot fly. To discover that you cannot fly, right? So, in dream, you see something and you wake up, it's very different. So when you see that, as I explained something like this, and you feel little uneasiness inside, uneasiness not because that I am saying something, because you discover that's what I think is reality, is not real. There's something different. Because of this, if an uneasy feeling comes, you are very, very meritorious. This is the indication that you are now turning towards waking up to see the reality different from what you think. What we think is a reality is that we are living in the dream. And then when you wake up, you see dream as the reality is different from what you're dreaming. So when you feel a little uneasiness, this is so precious. But those who feel, so what? It's not the way, where's uneasiness? If you are like this, you are still in dream, don't worry. So 10 days, we'll try to look for ways and means to get the they get the tip to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Okay. So, but this what I'm saying is that the Four Noble Truths, like the painting of the Mona Lisa, painting of Mona Lisa, it exists or it does not exist? Huh? Niveda, it exists or not exist? Painting of Mona Lisa. It does not exist. Wow. Maybe she is out of dream.
Conventional, not
Okay, so when you go to buy bread from the shop, buy bread, is it conventional bread, ultimate bread? Is what you ask? Or you ask, please give me a conventional bread? Or you say, please give me a bread? What do you say? Hey, maybe, huh?
I just got here.
What is it?
I said I just arrived.
Okay, don't ask too many questions. Okay, don't ask too many questions. At the moment, I'm still thinking. I'm still settling. My mind is still settling. Okay. Okay, Cyrus. Say the Mona Lisa painting, right? Does it exist or not?
Yes.
It exists. It exists. Don't ever say it does not exist. It exists. It exists. That's a fact. It exists. But when you go closer on the atomic level, then the Mona Lisa painting doesn't make any sense. You agree? So this is exactly with all phenomena. Everything exists on one level. Going deeper, it doesn't make sense. Yes.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I understand that, but let's say that we go deeper and, for example, an insect that's walking will not see everything as we see because it's too small. So let's say I become as small as an atom, but I have the faculty to see things. So I won't be able to see the Mona Lisa painting because I'm very, very small.
Yes.
I will be able only to see other atoms.
Yes.
So I don't know how it relates to what you're saying, because is that the ultimate truth? Meaning, because it depends actually on the level you're looking at things. If you go deeper, it's like if there's a spaceship that flies over the Earth, he's not going to see the houses and the people, he's just going to see the round Earth. So you have to go inside and slowly you can see things. So I guess if you go really deep at the atomic level, there's no Mona Lisa, there's nothing actually, there's just
atoms. Yes. So what is the question?
Well, because you're saying there's Mona Lisa. Actually, I was saying, okay, it depends on at what level you're looking at. If you're looking at, like me, I will see Mona Lisa. But if I was an atom, and I was able to see, I won't see Mona Lisa. I will see something else.
Exactly. So this is what we're going to study more. You're getting it? What the Gendula said is perfectly correct. So the same object, how you look at it, it will give you a different perspective. So people like us, we see some Mona Lisa painting as a tiny insects, like the size of the unicell, the one single cell. If they're able to see that, they just see another cell. Or there's a bunch of atoms, bunch of molecules. They don't see Mona Lisa painting. Okay, so with this, what I'm saying for the time being, do just see if you agree with me that the Mona Lisa painting, say how you look at it from like our ordinary perception, you look at it from distance, you would see a Mona Lisa painting. You agree? Resents. And Mona Lisa painting also exists. Undeniably it exists. Resents? Very good. Now, if you go deeper, the way Gandhila said, if you go deeper, then the Mona Lisa painting doesn't make any sense. Resents? There's also reality. Now we are discovering many realities. One reality, that the Mona Lisa painting is undeniably existent. There's one reality. Go deeper, the Mona Lisa painted doesn't make any sense. There's another reality. Discover, you agree? Resents. Good. So from this, what he's saying is that although the truth of suffering is to be identified, which means on this superficial level, truth of suffering can be identified. Go deeper, truth of suffering cannot be identified. Truth of cause of suffering. Superficially, truth of cause of suffering is there. Anger, attachment, negative karmas give rise to suffering. They will never give rise to happiness. And virtues will give rise to happiness, never to suffering. This is undeniable reality, like the painting of the Mona Lisa. But you go deeper, again, will make no sense. In other words, every phenomena is like existence of the Mona Lisa painting and non-existence of the Mona Lisa painting on another dimension. You getting it? So don't worry too much about it. So this is the core of our class. With the Bodhichitta, of course, Bodhichitta is the main, otherwise emptiness is also covered. Yes?
So Geshe, why do we have to identify, why do we have to identify it conventionally if ultimately it doesn't exist?
This is a good question. Seems like your mind is not, your mind is so sharp, so clear. So why do we have to identify on the conventional level? Why do we do it on the ultimate level? Okay, so how long will you be here? Okay, full 10 days. A full 10 days? Okay, because some people, they come and go. Come, go meaning? It's just for tourists. One day come and then leave. Right? They come with a very good question, and then when the time the answer is given, the person disappeared. It happened in Tibet House many times. In Tibet House, when we're giving draw, somebody comes. I said, Geshe-la, you brought a topic, this very important topic, this very important, we need a whole class on this. I said, yes, of course we'll do a course. And then we set a timetable. And on the actual class, where's the person? Gone. You're getting it? Okay, so I hope Nivita, she'll not do that, I know.
Well, actually, when we were with Sushita and Dharamshala,
For the audience.
Yeah.
I know.
Yesterday or morning.
That's why we came one day late, so I'm sorry.
No, this is not a problem. Because your question is so good. Therefore I'm saying this. Good questions. Okay, so what I'm saying, so this one, I'm not going to discuss now, because many people get lost, and then, next retreat, okay, very complicated, it's not my cup of tea, right? Sorry, I'll not go, right? Chanchula said, hey, come again. No. Which retreat? Who? Geshe Dorji Damdul, no way. You're getting it? Okay, so this we'll discuss later. So because you are here for all the complete retreat, particularly when we touch the emptiness part, bring this up. So we have two questions. One is by Doris, and one is by Nivita. Okay, this question, you have to identify these people, because later on, if I don't give the answers and if I leave, I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible. You're getting it? Okay, this is their job. You have to remind me. You're getting it? What's your question, Nivita? And look, she forgot the question.
Why do we have to identify it conventionally?
Say it again.
If for the noble truths or anything, why do we have to identify it conventionally if it doesn't exist ultimately? Like, what is the purpose?
Okay, good. Don't forget the question. You're getting it? Don't modify the question also later on. Okay, this question is very good. Let's do it later. For the time being, we're creating the basic skeleton. You getting it? Okay. So now, on the ultimate level, Buddha taught all the truth of suffering is to be identified in a conventional sense, but on the ultimate level, there's nothing to be identified. Like the painting of the Mona Lisa. It exists. It undeniably exists, but on the ultimate sense, the Mona Lisa painting doesn't make sense on the atomic level. You getting it? So you apply this to the rest of the remaining the four. Okay. So, with this, we are done with the 12 recitations of the Four Noble Teachings of the Four Noble Truths. That's done. Now we will move to the... Okay, any questions till this point? Any questions? Any question? Yes.
Now, clarification.
Yes.
You said the third set pertains to result of practice.
Yes.
So, are you implying that the result of the practice is seeing things on ultimate level?
Okay, this is a good question. Thank you. So, why this set of the teaching, the third set of the four recitations, is referred to as the result associated with the practice of the Four Noble Truths. So that pertains more to the first part. You remember? The first part, which is on the conventional sense. On the conventional sense, when you are practicing on the first four levels, you have to put effort to identify the suffering, put effort to abandon the cause of the affliction, the cause of the suffering, and so forth. And when you reach the resultant state, pertains to result. When you reach the resultant state, then you have identified all the suffering. There's nothing to be identified. You have abandoned the truth, the cause of suffering. You have nothing to be abandoned anymore. Likewise, cessation and path. Good. Any more questions? Yes.
Semantic question, I think.
Yes.
So we say the truth of suffering, that the truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned.
Yes.
Why do we have to abandon the truth of the cause? We have to abandon the cause.
Okay. So, abandon the truth of cause. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It is like saying the truth of the suffering, truth of the cause of suffering, truth of the cause. Truth separate, cause of suffering to be abandoned separate. Cause of suffering to be abandoned is the truth. You getting it? Rather than the truth of cause of suffering as one, to be abandoned separate is a semantic, how the language works. So in other words, that we need to identify the truth of cause of suffering well, and then abandon that, whatever the truth of cause of suffering is. What is that? Truth of cause of suffering, what is that? What is the truth of cause of suffering? What is that? Examples like?
Afflictions.
Afflictions, ignorance, gross self-afflictions, contaminant karmas. Okay, so when you abandon that part. Okay, now, any more questions? Any more questions related to what we had just discussed thus far? Okay, if not, then we move to the next, the four seals of the Buddha's teachings, the four seals. So we need to have all these as foundation. If we don't have these as foundation, then to move to Bodhicitta will become very shallow. Okay, next is the four seals. Four seals of the Buddha's teachings. Seals, S-E-A-L-S. Four seals of Buddha's teachings. The first, all composite things are impermanent. Okay. All composite things are impermanent. Number two, all contaminated things are of suffering nature. All composite things are impermanent, number one. Number two, all contaminated things are of suffering nature. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Number three, everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Number one, all composite things are impermanent. Number two, all contaminated things are of suffering nature. Number three, everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Number four, transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Chris?
I can't quite make out what you're saying at the end of the second one.
The second one, all contaminated things are of suffering nature. Yes. Number one, all composite things are impermanent. Number 2, all contaminated things are suffering nature. Number 3, everything is in the nature emptiness, selflessness. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Number 4, transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Yes.
Is sorrow here dukkha?
Sorrow is dukkha, yes. Okay, now let us go one by one. Okay, for this, first we need to understand why these 4 teachings, why these 4 lines are known as the seals. Why these 4 lines are known as seals? Stem. Number 1. Number 2, that we need to know the first seal link with the second. In other words, second seal link with the first, third seal link with the second, fourth seal link with the third. It's not just a random 4 lines. They're all linked to each other. Okay. So the first is why these 4 lines are known as the 4 lines are known as the seals. Okay, just imagine that if a government seals a building, or a property, what does it mean by that? Huh? Nobody can enter, nobody's allowed to touch it. So maybe the best person to ask is Shalini. Say, if a government seals a building, what does it mean by that? Sin. Nobody can touch it. Because Shalini is into the architectural thing. She's an architect. Where? Steve. Architect. Ah, okay. We have 2 architects. Wonderful. There may be other architects also? No? Okay, 2. So, when the government seals a property, it means nobody is allowed to touch this property till the problem is resolved. So likewise, metaphorically, the Buddha sealed these 4 teachings by saying that anybody who wants to stop the tears, painful tears of samsara, you have to understand these 4 teachings. Anybody who wants to stop the painful tears of samsara, you have to know these 4. If you don't know these 4, you cannot do anything to stop the tears of samsara. Okay, so our job is to check how true it is. This is very important for us. It's not just a dogma that somebody is saying that you have to do this, okay, I follow you. This is not the point. That just check it. That we do look at, for example, say, okay, it was, okay, do you agree with me that to become a Nobel laureate in physics, I can safely say that if you want to become a Nobel laureate in physics, you have to study physics. You agree? This is the only way. Yes, no? If you don't study physics, there's no way by which you can become Nobel laureate in physics. You may be naturally good in physics, even though without proper training in physics, still you can, just listen to some lectures. And if you're a genius, then you can teach physics too. But to level of the Nobel laureate, you have to study physics systematically. You agree? Yes, this is the only way. This is the only way. It's not the dogma that somebody saying, Einstein saying that you want to become Nobel in physics, you have to study physics. It's not a dogma, it's not an imposition, that this is reality. So likewise, the Buddha said that if anybody wants to, somebody before the Buddha, after the Buddha, who's ever wants to stop the tears of samsara, you have to study, practice these 4 lines. So, first thing is, what are the 4 lines? I want to stop my tears. And you said that if to practice this 4, what are the 4 lines? Then next is, then you learn this. Once you learn this, your job is to analyze, to see if it is true. If it is not true, discard it. You don't follow. So, the first line says, all composite things are impermanent. Composite meaning something which is composed of, something which is made of material parts. material parts or directional parts. For example, like atoms, electrons, protons, and so forth. These are the material parts. And there's something which is made of temporal parts. Temporal parts meaning parts in time. For example, what do I mean by parts in time? Say, today is a very beautiful day. When we say today is a beautiful day, what is today? Today is made of 24 hours. Today is made of 24 parts, 24 hours. First hour, the first hour, second hour, third hour. These are the parts in time. Likewise, today my mind is very happy. Today my mind is very happy, which means this mind which exists in 24 hours, that is happy. First hour mind, second hour mind, third hour mind. Oh, the first hour I was very happy. First hour mind has how many segments? 60 minutes. 60 minutes, and which means 60 temporal parts are there. So all composite things are impermanent. In other words, composite phenomena and impermanent phenomena, these two are synonymous. Let me repeat it. Composite phenomena and impermanent phenomena, these two are synonymous. Anything which is an impermanent phenomena should necessarily be composed of temporal parts. But they may not have the directional parts. Directional parts meaning parts in directions, east, west, north, south, or electrons, protons, neutrons. For example, mind does not have directional parts, it only has temporal parts. Whereas the body, the physical objects, they exist in time and space both. They exist in space, so therefore they have directional parts. They exist in time, therefore they have temporal parts. Okay, so whatever is composed of these two things, directional parts or temporal parts, should necessarily be impermanent. So when you say impermanent, impermanence is of two kinds: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Impermanence, there are two kinds: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. So, in this context, what we this morning just briefly touched upon this, and many of you have discussed in the group discussion as well. We talked about composite and non-composite. So we talked about permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Very good. Permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. For example, like what? Like what? Okay, so what examples have we given? Anybody? Say what the Laksh Raj is saying is the absence of chocolate in the flower. Anyone else? What examples did you get from your group discussion? Examples of permanent phenomena. I think Doris said the space. Anyone else? What are the examples?
There's some obstruction between two people that would be qualified as permanent reality.
Good.
That is one of the things that
Okay.
momentary change.
Okay. So Joshua and Chanchula, they're equally this thing. But the Abhinasha is informing Geshe-la correctly, no, I'm not. Right? Equally. Okay. Yes, anyone else? That's amazing. Within just 40 minutes, you got many things. I'm so impressed. Anyone else? What example did you get of the permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality? Anyone? Okay, now the Nalanda studies participants. What examples do you have of the permanent phenomena? Hey, Nalanda studies students. Yes, Isidora.
Cessation of suffering.
Cessation of suffering. Cessation of suffering is the absence of suffering. Very good. Anyone else?
Generic image.
Generic image, very good. Gabor. Difference between chocolate and flower. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, here we have the living. Non-composite space. Very good. Non-composite space. Anyone else? Okay, so beginners may be a little confused. There are so many examples coming up. Okay, let's work with let us work with let us work with, first, okay, let me do like this. First, let us work with non-composite space, because this is the most common example given by, wherever you go, people give this example. Then followed by Gabor, what Gabor said, the difference between the chocolate and the flower. Okay, so first we'll discuss what Living said, and then we'll go to what the Gabor said, and then after that we can go to any other examples of permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Okay, let's say first the non-composite space. Okay, before the non-composite space, don't worry, forget about everything. Just see if you agree with me that, okay, you stretch your arms against me, towards me, stretch your arms towards me. Okay. So, okay, good. Now put it down. Okay. So imagine there's somebody sitting right next to you, with a gap of maybe like what? Just a few centimeters, just right in front of you. And if I ask you, stretch your arm, will you stretch your arm? You will not, because the other person is there, you'll hit the other person. But here, you stretch your arm very freely. Why? You know that there's a space between you and I. You agree? You agree with this? Okay. That space that you... And how do you know there's a space? How do you know that? How do you know that there's a space between you and I? How do you know that? Huh? I can see with my sense consciousness. I can see that with my eyes. Okay, that space which your eyes can see. Okay, this, particularly for the seniors, this is a revision for you. And for the revision and those who try to explain this to your colleagues in the group discussion, and they are not too convinced, is for you to learn. And for those of us beginners, it is for us to start from the scratch. So this space, which you can see, this is known as composite space. It's not a non-composite space. It is a composite space. What is a composite should necessarily be impermanent phenomena. You getting it? So this space that you are seeing, this is impermanent. This is not permanent. So therefore, which Doris said, if somebody cuts between you and I, so that is that person is cutting the composite space. So it's impermanent. It's not permanent. Okay. The next is that now we talk about the non-composite space. Non-composite space. What is non-composite space? How many understood the composite space? Raise hands. How many understood the composite space? Raise hands. You understood it. Composite space is quite easy. The space which your eyes can see. There's a gap between me and you. This space which your eyes can see, that is a composite space. Now, what is non-composite space? This is a little more technical. It's not difficult, it's a little technical. Without studying, we cannot guess. Okay, so for this, we have to understand from, let's say that, okay, what is my hand? Okay, by the way, if I don't use this flower, this young girl and young boy, they brought this flower from Tibet House, Delhi. And this flower actually traveled to many places. All right, so how to use it? If I don't use this, I'm not doing justice to them, to the effort. Okay, so what is in my particularly, okay, all of you, just see, what is my hand, what is my left hand? Flower. Okay, now what is in my left hand? Hey, just speak your mind. You're getting it? Okay, particularly the beginners. Beginners, speak your mind. What is my hand? What is my hand now? Nothing. You're getting it? Okay.
Is air.
I know, yes. Yes, I know that. Right? I know that, yes. Not only air, molecule, the gold atoms also there. Gold atoms also there, yes. Gold atoms are there. Nitrogen is also there. Right? Okay, so say ordinary people, what will they say? Nothing is there. You're getting it? Nothing is there. Now, if I ask you, particularly those people who are not exposed to this philosophy, if I ask you, is there a flower? Okay, raise hands those who are new to this philosophy. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay. Okay, let's say, Gagan, what is in my hand? What is in my hand? Nothing. Okay, so just see that, okay, so when I ask question to Gagan, you also give your answer. You're getting it? Give your answer. Either your answer tallies with Gagan's answer, or your answer may not tally. If it doesn't tally, most likely you are exposed to some philosophical studies or some science studies, like air is there, or what is there? There's another word. What is this? Another word there. No. It was once upon a time accepted and later on rejected. Ether. Some may say ether is there, right? Okay, so which means you are exposed to some studies, philosophical studies. Whereas if you are like a street person, you will say nothing is there. To be very simple, nothing is there. Now, but a street person doesn't mean that the person will forever remain as a street person. One day will become Buddha. You getting it? One day will become somebody who knows everything. So how will that happen? Again, it happens through gate, para, gradual growth. You getting it? So how gradual growth happens? With question. Ask question, give the answer, your mind grows. Your mind grows. Okay, so my question is, what is there now? Nothing's there. Is there a flower? No flower. Absence of flower is there? Huh? You don't know? Okay, Gagan is scared that Geshe-la may trap me somewhere, right? So absence of flower is there? Yeah, something is there? Absence of flower is there. Yeah, something's there. Okay, now look. So Gagan is changing his standpoint from saying nothing's there to yes, something is there. This is the growth. Cognitive growth. You're getting it? Cognitive growth. This is what is taking place. Okay. Now we say something is there. What is there something? Absence of the flower. How many agree with the Gagan sense? Very good. Absence of flower is there. So now you see that if you go to the ordinary person, go to the Mahabodhi temple and meet with the ordinary people, they have nothing in hand. Oh, there are so many things in the hand. Right? They say, what is in my hand? You must be like a magician. You're seeing something. Right? So it contradicts. If you say something is there, it contradicts with the conventional world. If you say nothing is there, it contradicts. Logically, it is inconsistent. You're getting it? Logically, it is inconsistent because logically you can prove that something is there. But if you say something is there, it contradicts with the conventional world. So, how to resolve this issue? This is the question. And when the conventional world says that there's nothing there, it also makes sense. And logically speaking, the absence of flowers there, it also makes sense. How to resolve this? On the superficial level, these two are contradictory. One says nothing is there, other says something is there. These two are contradictory. How to resolve this? So this is a big issue. To resolve this question, they say what the ordinary people, when the ordinary people say nothing is there, means that there's no substance there to say like, I am a flower. Flower is made of substance, composition of particles. There's some particles there, there's some the compositions there, constitution of which creates the flower. So whereas when you say nothing is there, there's no such compositional factors. There's no compositional factors, nothing is there, which constitution which will give rise to a flower, chocolate, whatever. There's nothing there. there's no substance there to say this. So when the ordinary people say there's nothing there, means there's no substance there. But the logicians, they say that something is there, absence of flower is there, means there's substance not required. The logically established phenomena that absence of flower, it exists. It's logically we can prove that. So they are not looking for substance, they are looking for something which makes sense as logically. So, logically speaking, absence of flower is there. Yes, but for the ordinary people, there's nothing there. Means there's no substance there. You getting it? You agree? Okay. So with this in mind, what is the substance? What is the substance? Is known as impermanent. Okay. What is permanent? Permanent should not be thought of as what is your group? Group 2. What group 2 learned? That permanent doesn't mean something which lasts eternally long. This is not the meaning of the permanence. So, for ordinary people, when you say permanent, is something which lasts for long. But, logically speaking, what is permanent? A phenomena which does not undergo change. Let me say this once more. What is permanent according to the reality, according to the logical standpoint, something which is logical, from logical standpoint point of view, what is permanent? Permanent is a phenomena which does not undergo change. As simple as that. Which does not undergo change. For example, absence of the flower in my hand is permanent. How is permanent? Now let me explain this. So there's no substance there. How many agree with me? There's no substance there to say that I am the absence of the flower. But see the flower, there's a substance there to say that I am the flower. There's a substance. Do you agree? Do you sense? But with the absence of flower, there's no substance to say that I am the absence of flower. You agree? Very good. So because there's no substance there, now this is key. Listen, this is very important. There's no substance there to say I am the absence of flower. So there's no substance to undergo change. Change means there should be something there to undergo change. There's nothing, no substance there to undergo change. You agree? Because there's no substance to undergo change, it's not changing. Because it's not changing, this is not impermanent. It exists, not impermanent is permanent. So permanent doesn't mean something which lasts forever. So absence of the flower is permanent. So absence of anything is a permanent. Absence of anything is a permanent entity because they don't have a substance. You're getting it? Okay, if you feel little lost, don't worry. If you feel a little lost, don't worry. You have to get used to this. Yes?
Doesn't the absence of the flower change as soon as the flower...
Your name?
My name is Misha.
Misha?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I've been discussing about Misha quite frequently in the last classes. There's another Misha. You know that? You don't know. You're too young. You're not born then. There's a Misha the bear. You know that? Good. Okay. So now first let me repeat this. This is very important, and then we will do with what Misha asked. Okay, so what we said is that we need to resolve the conflict between what ordinary people say and what is logically acceptable. So, in the hand, what is there? Nothing. So this according to the ordinary people's understanding. Logicians say, there's so many things. Absence of flower, absence of chocolate, absence of the Agya. Absence of Agya is also here, right?
Oh, I thought you were asking me a question. I just said absence of cup.
Absence of Agya is also here, right? So, absence, there are so many things there. But the ordinary people say there's nothing there. Logically speaking, you can prove that there are so many things. So how to reconcile these two is by understanding what do the ordinary people mean when they say nothing's there. For them to say something is there, they need something tangible, substantial, real, some substantial thing. So when they don't see substantial thing, they say nothing is there. So which means anything which the logicians would say exists on this, they should be devoid of substance. You agree? They should be devoid of substance, because ordinary people will not count them as existent. So that devoid of substance. Absence of chocolate, absence of agya, absence of pillar, absence of flower, absence of everything on this hand. This is all as they say the absence of substance. No substance. No substance means there is no substance to undergo change. You agree? They exist, but there is no substance to undergo change. Because they don't undergo change, they are not impermanent. They exist, but they are not impermanent. They're not impermanent means they should be permanent. Exists, not impermanent, should be permanent. So absence of the flower, absence of chocolate and so forth, they are permanent. In that sense. Now, if you know that, now look, how many such absences are there with the flower? How many absences are there? Absence of being Gagan. This flower, absence of being Gagan. Absence of being a pillar, absence of being a chocolate. How many such absences are there? Countless absences are there. All these are permanent entities, permanent phenomena. You getting it? All these are permanent phenomena. So, okay. And now, look at this. Between me and you, there's a space, you see that? That space also has many qualities like absence. This space is not a chocolate, do you agree? Absent of being chocolate, yes? And this space in between you and I is absent of obstruction. Avinasha, the space between you and I is absent of chocolate? What do you mean by absent chocolate? It is not chocolate. Exactly. And this space does not have obstruction. Because we stretch your hands very easily, freely, which means there's no obstruction, absence of obstruction. That quality of the absence of obstruction is permanent or impermanent? What we have learned today, what we have learned now, that absence of the obstruction is permanent, impermanent? Permanent. You're getting it? That absence of the obstruction, that is given the label non-composite space. Why non-composite? Because it does not have substance. Because it does not have substance, still it exists, it is a permanent. Because it's permanent, so it is permanent and also is a part of this attribute of the composite space. This is given the label non-composite space. The space that we are seeing, this is a composite space. But for this composite space, there are so many qualities of absences, one of which is absence of obstruction. That absence of obstruction is given the label non-composite space. Yes?
But doesn't absence of obstruction change?
Okay, let's just touch on this. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, how many understood thus far? Minimum 60%. How many understood? Minimum 60%. Okay, now I'll be more generous. Minimum 40%. Minimum 40% you understood it. Very good. Okay, now the thing is that this, for example, let's say this glass, okay, let's say this glass, there's nothing inside. There's absence of obstruction inside. Now the moment I fill this with this, then the absence of the obstruction disappears. You agree? So absence of obstruction, it disappears, it changed. So how it changed means it is impermanent. The absence of obstruction inside is impermanent. It disappeared. It's impermanent. So, how do you explain this? So what Abhinasha said is that what she learned is that permanent may not be eternal. It can disappear within a split of a second. For example, let's say, okay, tell me, this sound, what did you hear? Sound of clap. What's the duration? What is the duration of this? a moment, let's say a split of a second, like one, like, let's say, okay, it's a split of a second. So this split of a second duration, this sound has many other attributes. You agree? Not only absences. This sound is brief. Being brief is also quality of this sound. You agree? There are so many qualities, attributes. And one of which is that this sound is absent of being a chocolate. This sound is not a chocolate. You agree? Hey, this sound not being chocolate is very complicated. I don't understand what he's saying. Right? It's not complicated. This sound you cannot eat. You agree? That's simple. So just say yes. Hey, this sound is not a chocolate. Yes. Yes. Okay. So this sound being absent of chocolate. This sound being absent of varma. This sound is not varma. Varma means here. Right? You may be wondering, what is varma? Varma is here. Okay. So this sound has many attributes. So without the sound is the characterized. It has many characteristics. And when this flower is burned, all the attributes of this flower will also disappear. You agree? When the flower disappears, all the attributes of this flower also disappears. You agree? For example, when this flower is burned, the yellow color will disappear. Yellow flower will disappear. Color of the flower will disappear. Shape of the flower will disappear. So when the flower disappears, all the characteristics of the flower also disappears. You agree? Likewise, when the sound disappears, all the attributes of the sound will also disappear, including the sound being absent of a chocolate. It also disappears. Although it is permanent, but it lasts as long as the sound lasts, which lasts for only a split of a second. So, absence of the sound being absent of a chocolate is permanent, but it lasts only for a split of a second. You're getting it? So permanent may not be something which lasts forever. It can be as brief. But ordinary people's understanding of permanence is very different. Ordinary people's understanding of permanence, what is the ordinary people's understanding of permanence? Okay, how many of you have permanent address? Raise hands. How many of you have filled up the form? We said, what is your permanent address? And you filled up. Actually, there's no permanent address. Earth itself is impermanent. And all the addresses that you have, it must be on planet Earth. Planet Earth can disappear. You're getting it? So there's neutron star. What is neutron star? Neutron star is where the whole sun, massive sun, bigger than our sun, it collapses. When the fuel exhausts, it collapses, it becomes neutral, tiny. So the planet Earth can be sucked into the black hole and your address will be gone. It's not permanent. But we say permanent address. This is ordinary people's understanding. Ordinary people, they're full of contradiction with the logic. It logically is inconsistent. You're getting it? Ordinary people say that, oh, it's impermanent, it's permanent, right? Now I have a permanent job. There's no permanent job. You die, the job will be given to somebody else. So there's no permanent job. But this is how the ordinary people, it's full of contradiction there with the ordinary people. So, okay, we stop here. Okay, the Buddha prays. Tabge toje shage riso chon shenge mito dege ponjomba ge Tabo jebe ko shage gebo kela cha selo oh mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mahamona Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamunaya 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 Swaha. Okay, three persons together.